Maybe just some handouts over here on the counter. Handouts. Some handouts, yep. Right there on the counter. Over here today. Everybody. Yeah, anyone that loves shopping in Miami, sit there and talk and get a coffee in there. Hopefully. We can always help.
Oh, I think there's probably going to be more.
I don't know that the talking stick will work. We'll try it.
Yeah, it's got paper plates on it.
Yeah, well, there's nothing on the side of the car.
Yeah, but I can see those. Yeah, but some of those units that go up for you, it's probably be a lot better. So, well, she can say what she wants. We can check out capacity.
She was saying you can't do it how many days.
It's not going anywhere. It's going live. I don't need money. That's wrong. I think I might know what you're talking about.
He was just talking. And I'm like, hey, there's already people in the parking lot on different chairs.
Yeah. You won't make it for me? We won't make it for me. You might not have a quorum. You don't win that
Anybody. Hi, good afternoon. Hey, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes. We have one more member in route right now. Somebody's on our way. So people just be patient.
So there's a member.
Actually, our third person on the phone, we have Vincent. He's one of the newest board members, so we have a quorum, so we can get started.
So, this is, like, some of the 2026, oh, it is 5 together. Oh, you shouldn't talk too loud, now you're telling me. I can't win. So, it's July 7th, 2027, and we are at the, Black Canyon City Plaza, Suite 1, and this is our annual, budget meeting. First, we're going to just introduce the staff and the board. We have one new board member who has called in telephonically, Vincent Altrui. And then after we introduce ourselves, I'm going to have the district attorney, Bill, explain his budget process and why we have to have it at this time of year, and why we have it at this time of year. Okay? So, I'm Elaine, board chair.
Sean Halls, member at large.
On the phone, Vincent.
Vincent Altrui.
And he will be filling the position of secretary, and we have our staff. Alicia Michaels. And she's the district coordinator.
And Barbara Von Moses, building clerk.
And we have our counsel.
I'm Bill Whittington. Our law firm is in Prescott. Devin is one of my partners. He was here last time. He had a meeting he had to go to, so I agreed to cover the one or 2 minutes. Nice to see you all.
So, Bill, could you please explain this budget process and why our beginning fiscal year, our ending fiscal year, and how this all affects what we do?
Sure. I'll try to give you the view from 30,000 feet. You're a special taxing district, just like a fire district, hospital district, school district. You're governed by a set of statutes a little different than cities, towns, and counties. And in the special taxing district world, water districts are entitled to the date that their tax year ends is influenced by when they began. And years ago, you guys did that. Eventually, your start date was selected as a fiscal year. So you don't have a calendar year, you have a fiscal year. The law now requires that you get your budget filed with the County Board of Supervisors by the 10th of July each year, and you have to file reports each year. You have to do publications in preparation for that, which you've done. You have to give notice to the Board of Supervisors, and then there comes a day when you have to have a public hearing, not just a call to the public kind of meeting that is on every agenda, but an actual public hearing where members of the public get to show up and voice their opinion about 2 things. One is the fee schedule and adoption of that, and the other is the budget and the adoption of that. So tonight you'll see on the agenda that there's an item for discussion by the public of the proposed fee schedule, and then it's followed by a discussion with the public about the budget. After both of those conversations have had, those public hearings close, and the board then has to entertain a motion to... to approve a resolution to adopt both the budget and the schedule of fees and charges. And that'll stay in place for 1 year unless the board has some sort of economic reason why they have to meet mid-year and modify one of those. Once this budget has been adopted, they've got an obligation to send it over to the County Board of Supervisors, who, if there is a tax to be had, imposes that tax. The County Board of Supervisors doesn't get involved. The County Board of Supervisors doesn't get involved in the fees that you guys charge. They only get involved in the taxes that they have to assess if you chose to do so. It's my understanding that this special taxing district does not impose a tax. It does impose fees. But you still have to adopt the budget to tell the county where you're going to spend those monies until you have to modify that, in which time you'd have another special public hearing to propose an amended budget. So tonight, the agenda is quite limited, actually. There's an agenda item for, let me see the budget, or me, agenda.
Right here. I just did that.
Thank you. There's an agenda item for a public hearing on the rates and fees. Once the chairman opens that conversation, anybody on the public can stand and be heard on it. When that's done, and the board chairman has to control kind of the timing of that, how much time they give people to talk, those kinds of things. And then there's a public hearing on the budget adoption. Same thing go all over again. When both of those are closed, then the agenda calls for the board to discuss, to debate, and possibly adopt a resolution to approve both of those things. I'm sorry, man, I interrupted you.
I'm just wondering what the timing is for public comment.
You know, the law doesn't say. The law vests the chair with the control to establish how long they give each speaker. Yes.
Does the board have a charter that establishes the amount of time a user can provide a public comment?
No. No, there's no, that's a matter of policy, and there is no policy on that issue.
Also on July 10th, is our yearly audit due also on that date?
No.
When is it due?
I don't have that schedule with me, but the audit is later.
Because I was told today by Dave Jenkins, our Board of Supervisor, that every day that we're late on these two requirements, we have a $100 fine that we're subject to.
You know, the statute permits the county to impose a fine, but they almost never do. They'll call a district and let them know that it's overdue and give them some time to take care of it. Anyhow, that's the process for either a rate hearing or a budget hearing, and you can participate in that in any way if the board chairman decides to permit you to do so.
Bill, is this budget and rate hearing? Is this a budget and rate hearing?
There's two separate hearings, one for the rate and one for the budget.
Okay, combined in this one meeting?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would be clear on if there's an opportunity for public comment. What is the limitation on the time that a person can publicly comment? And I feel that members and users should have a fixed, understood time to comment without being sidelined or overruled by a board member. So I would like, if we don't have that in our charter, if we don't have that in our processes, I would like everybody in this room to understand, if you have 3 minutes or if you have 5 minutes, what is the time limit? And let's put that into the record.
You know, ma'am, that's up to the board chair. The statute doesn't require that a particular time limit be imposed. My experience has been the board chair tends to be a little fluid about that, because if you have 4 people, you can let them speak a long time. If you have 100 people, typically you cut it down a little bit. It also depends on whether or not the same topic is being discussed by additional people. Sometimes that influences the chairman's decision about how much input to take.
So we have decided a legislative office for 3 minutes, correct?
I discussed that earlier, yes, 3 minutes per person.
Okay, and so we need to move forward with this. Can you finish up your questions, please?
Yes, if a member of the public wants to defer their 3 minutes to another member, is that applicable?
The law does not speak to that issue. That's up to the board chair.
Nice.
Okay, so Should we move forward? Melina, would you like to come up here?
Not really.
Okay, so you don't want to participate as a board member today?
I'm participating as a board member today, sure, why not?
Come on in.
The public.
We need a chair.
So you want to
Is
try?
Vincent here?
I have a question, point of order. Point of order.
Thank you. And so, Melina Raylick, would you like to introduce yourself? You are the board
I'm the treasurer.
treasurer.
In name only. I guess I'm a trial.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
a member of the public has a question for you.
Point of order. Do we have a quorum?
Yes.
4 out of 5 of us. And who is on record as being part of the quorum?
We have Melina Raylick, Elaine Clayton, Sean Collins, and on the phone we have Vincent Altrui. That's 4. Are you ready to move forward now?
Yeah, just make it point of order.
Okay, great, thank you. So, first on the agenda, Bill?
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Oh, no, it's yours.
So, we're going to open public hearing regarding the rate and fees. Is that just be open for discussion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, let me get my copy of the agenda real quick.
Oh, I've got to pause this.
Where's Vincent?
He's on the phone.
Can I change my mind? Elaine, Madam Chair,
Excuse me?
may I change my mind?
And what would you like?
I would like to participate as a member of the public tonight.
You can't do that. No, that's not possible. No, the law provides you can't wear 2 hats. If you're on the board, you're on the board.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
I'm just saying, all right.
Okay.
Do you need any more explanation?
So,
Madam Chair, item number 3 then is the spot where you would actually call the public hearing to order. And then you can entertain questions from members of the public. You also have a member of the public with another question.
yes.
Point of order, Vincent is on call, but I don't believe that all members can hear him.
He's not saying anything.
And when he does say anything, I'm not sure that all members can hear him. So if there's a
Vincent,
quorum,
can
all
you talk,
members need
please,
to
so
be
people can
present
hear you?
and on the board.
Yes, I'm right here listening.
Can anyone not hear Vincent talking?
So
Okay.
let's be clear, it's time for
We're going to move forward with this, okay? And so if we do item 3, what is it, Bill?
You just call the public hearing to order.
I am now at 5:13, calling the public hearing to order. And that means, are we going to be taking questions
Yeah, just entertain questions and comments from the public.
regarding the fee and stuff, fees and stuff, everything?
No, just be interested.
Okay, so, do you have a timer?
Yes.
So I kind of want to go around the room so that, do you have anything?
I have a whole bunch of stuff.
I
would have them come up. Are you going to tell us what it is, except we have to make it schedule on this whole basics, so we can comment on that?
You can do that if you like.
I had some copies of these.
Isn't that what this is?
And here. Did anybody pick up, we had copies on the back table, if you have this, it's right in the front, so you can find it there. I can go to the office and make more copies, but this is actually published on the website. So it's something that everyone has access to. So
You can review it if you like.
So it's a 3-page document to review.
You have to pick and choose the stuff you want to review. That's up to you.
It is a 17-page document.
The one I'm looking at is 3. That's the rate assessment. And this is the fee. And this is Robert's rule of order. So please, let's keep that in mind. So, yes.
Before we start, I did not bring the mailer that indicated what the proposed fees are going to be?
Right.
So do we have
No.
that information?
It's on the website and it's in this report.
I'm sorry, where is it?
This report is on the website. It has been since March.
I just want to look I just want to look at what you're proposing. What are the new things? I can't have a conversation.
It would be 2C. That was the one that the board voted on, was 2C, which is,
Page 6?
pardon?
Is that page 6?
That's the current.
So it gave different scenarios, and if you look on page 13 at 2C, that's the one that we chose. That's where the 5138 came from. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I have a
Yes.
order before we continue. Has Vincent been sworn in?
Phil?
I wasn't here. I assume
Well, no.
did he sign his oath of office?
Exactly.
And where is that on file for you to see?
It is on file in the office that he completed the open meeting law training and signed his document. And so the swearing in is actually just a formality. It doesn't have, the board voted to bring him onto the board. Anything about rates and fees? Yes.
My name is Helen Graham. I've been a resident of Black Canyon City since 1996. I've been a property owner and resident since 2005. I've been a user of Black Canyon Water City District since 2017. When this board was voted in, it was to address some issues with the governance and the expenditure of funds, including and covering costs against the district for actions of board members. And I am trying to tie what our current glossy mailer was into this report that I was able to download. But this board was voted in to correct a lot of things. I do not see where the glossy mailer ties in to this rating. And
Okay.
Please don't talk over me because this is my time.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was up.
So I believe that the users are entitled to a complete report on how this changed and came to a decision on the rate increase tied to this analysis. I believe that the users are also entitled to what is the current accounting of funds and the different funds available for maintenance and improvement and sustaining the water system, knowing that we need to do improvements. I think we need a forensic accounting of the changes in the accounts since the new board took place and this report took place and this new mailer that we got with the proposed rate increase to tie it together to inform the public. Just let us know.
That's true.
How it ties together with what the liabilities and needs were. And the new liabilities and needs, which I have some that are in question from my personal opinion. For instance, if I have a few minutes left, this board was voted in because the previous board exceeded their authority on some things and exposed us to liability. We have a situation where this current board has possibly done the same things and exposed us to liability. And the users deserve an opportunity to review those costs and those encumbrances before we vote on the rate increase and determine how actually that involves whether we have good water, drinkable water, or whether we have board members who are exceeding their authority and working outside of the scope of their direction. And if that is creating additional liability on us as users, which is unfair. And I also question the quorum on some of these items when those rules were taking place.
Hi, I'm Irene Brooks. I was on the board for a very short period of time, unable to continue for particular reasons. My question has to do with when this RCAC study was done and the recommendation was that we follow scenario 1, which would basically come out to be about an $11 a month increase versus the $22 a month increase that is being proposed by the board. I also wanted to note that I don't see an explanation, didn't see it on the mailer as to how we went from the recommended scenario to selecting, the board selecting number 2C. And I wanted to read on page 9, just in case you all haven't had a chance to look at this. RCAC indicates that the district's current residential water costs represent approximately, I'm going to just say 1.5% of median household income depending on household usage. While baseline rate adjustments increase this percentage modestly, and remember this is their recommendation of the $11 on the base rate, capital-intensive scenarios, which the board has selected, approach or exceed commonly referenced 2% affordability benchmarks for our community, reinforcing the importance of the board pursuing grant funding and phased-in implementation of rate increases. So that's the first thing that I wanted to really try to understand. And then secondly, when I went through the financial reports online on the website, I noticed that while we all pay a minimum of $5 a month, minimum, plus $1 for every 1,000 gallons of water that we use each month, that is supposed to go to capital improvements. There have been no deposits in the capital improvements fund for all of 2026. Yet here we are being asked to pay more money not only on the base, but on capital improvements as well. And I think, as this person has indicated, we deserve some type of explanation, accounting, as to what is happening with the money that we are paying to this district.
Absolutely.
Great point, Irene. Thank you for bringing that question up. And what? Can I respond? Or no? Oh my God.
Typically what happens is you entertain questions and comments from the public first and then address them. You can do it either way, the law allows you to do it.
Okay, so thanks for asking that, Irene. When Natalie, the CPA, was here at the town hall meeting, unfortunately, she was unable to complete her presentation and did not have the opportunity to ask questions. And as indicated before, she was not available to come to this meeting. So we actually looked at all of the scenarios, and we looked at the $11 an hour, and I'm not going to go into all of Natalie's comments. We will make sure that she is presented with this question so that she can answer it as a CPA. I'm just going to let you know what she told us. At $11, with that being the increase, we would still be having $36,000 deficits in operating expenses, because that is not enough to cover just the cost of maintenance. In 2024, there was a rate increase. That increase was $7. $6 of that went to WET's contract as operations manager, and $1 went into the capital improvement funds. And if you look at just a second. One of the things for the study was to have technical assistance to evaluate the adequacy and long-term sustainability of its current water rate structure. And it is to look at if the existing revenues are sufficient to support ongoing operation and maintenance costs. And to prepare for anticipated future capital improvement needs, including potential upgrades, etc. So the capital improvement account, and this is per Bradley, our accountant, that is designed. That's like a savings account, and we would like to put money in each month to generate savings for your bigger projects, for your projects that are, I think the last project we did was Mesquite and Palo Verde, when we replaced all the water lines and put in all the meters. That's a capital improvement project. Then all of the other projects are considered maintenance. So a lot of the work that Mark is doing now, even though it's like $20,000 or $30,000 per project, that's still considered maintenance. So because we don't have enough money to keep up with the maintenance, there's not enough money to go into the capital improvement fund. And if you read through the entirety of RCAC's reports, one of they affirm that the budget, our current rate, is not enough to put money into the capital improvement fund because we're all having to go to the general fund just to pay for all of these events that are going on. And we have a lot of water emergencies, and to come out and fix one leak, just one simple leak in the VFW was over $7,000. As specified, so it says in the report, as a purpose of the analysis, BCCWID is in need of meter replacements, accurate reads throughout the fiscal year, total to capture total gallons, and meter tracking, usage documentation. It goes through the whole list of things that we need. And I believe Alicia made a great spreadsheet where you can see what some of those costs are and what it's going to cost us just to initiate those figures.
Please don't mislead though, because this report also talks to the fact that the expectation is that not only would you go to the $11 a month increase, but that you would look for grants and loans and those types of things to cover things like the meters.
You know, the grant market is pretty dry, and if that's something that you would like to do, because I'm sure you're good at it with your background, that would be awesome. But nobody in the office right now has time to go searching for grants and writing them. We have looked at them. This year, I believe in October, with it typically has a conservation grant. Actually, that stopped 2 years ago, and that's where a lot of districts were getting their meters. But grants are like finding a needle in a haystack.
Point of order.
Yes.
Point of order. Okay. So the members are not responsible for researching grants. They elected board members to take care of these responsibilities. So when we are proposed with a rate increase that does not include going after grants, we should be looking to the board members to pursue those avenues. Exactly. They should not be absolutely thrusted on the owners. There were grants in process. There were, and I'm not sure what the follow-up is, but it is the responsibility of the board, not the members, to pursue grants. That is why you were elected. Yes. And push that back onto the users is inappropriate.
Okay, great. And you've got your 3 minutes. And what I'd like to ask is, who in here is running for the 2 open board seats? Are there 2 people? I'm sorry, this is not on your agenda. You're out of order. But this is a community water district, and you're not paid. We're volunteers, and if you would like to help with that, please feel free to. You've already had your 3 minutes.
Yes, I want to give my 3 minutes.
Me too. Give my 3 minutes to her.
That is not, officer. No, that is not permissible. You need to
It
sit
has to
down.
be. We voted on it just now. We said yes.
Why do we have a $2 million lawsuit against the water company?
What do you want?
have no obligation.
Officer, would you please ask her to sit down or leave? We're not gonna.
No, I'm just here to make sure this is.
You don't get to run away this time.
Under 3 minutes and that's the final say.
I gave her mine.
Objection!
You just voted it
I
yes.
can't hear us. We're the users owners.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, we're gonna just stop and sit here until we can have order. People come.
Yes, Mother. Explain the $2 million lawsuit against us.
Yeah, I wanna ask.
Let her have it.
If I'm allowed, I will clarify what I want to speak.
Why does water have to be
Everybody else can just be quiet while she's speaking, because I want to be able to hear what you guys say. Obviously,
And
you've
how
got
long are we
her.
going to let her speak? We need to.
Well, if there's more stuff that she's gonna say. Can I say something though? If you're gonna speak for other people, we have to make this reasonable. We can't have this a half an hour.
So we're gonna give you another 3 minutes and that's it.
So, the concerns that have already been expressed about the rate changes that are not necessarily tied to the latest review, I believe that the owner users are entitled to a new third-party evaluation of the standing of the water district, our expenses, our encumbrances, our liabilities, and our needs, just as we have. I believe that the board, I believe the members are entitled to a forensic accounting of the change in expenditure of funds since this new board took place. I believe that the members are entitled to evaluate whether the board is operating within their charter when they vote to create encumbrances against the water district users for existence in a liability situation without using due diligence, scope of practice, and ensuring that we are operating under the authority of the board that we elected them into. We elected them into this. But if we are all of a sudden have issues, funds foisted upon us, costs, liabilities, and the board did not adequately vote using a quorum, using people present, and using people who should have been recused from voting, those all things should be under review. And that is a normal business practice. I have 30 years in public service. I'm very well familiar with all of this. But these users pay funds, and they're being told that they're going to exact new encumbrances and possibly liabilities, and we don't have a clear line of distinction where all this money is coming from, and a clear forensic accounting of how things changed from March of 2026 to present. And I think the users are entitled to that before the board, and I would caution the board on making sure they have a quorum and making sure people are appropriately recused before they vote in such an increase.
Okay, your 3 minutes is up.
Before we start going with questions, I kind of want to stick with what we're talking about. We're going over the budget and stuff, the numbers. So we kind of want to work these numbers out, right? Because we have to come up with the budget and all that stuff. If we don't talk about the numbers and like come to some kind of consensus, what are we doing? We can look at Facebook and see. I understand people have problems with people. Understood, but we as a community have to come together, figure out the numbers. We all know the numbers haven't gone up. I don't want to dish out more money, but guess what? Sometimes I have to do stuff that is not like, we got to do it. I understand, but we got to come up with a number. So the next question is, if you guys could say, hey, well, you know what? I saw that it was at 22. I'm thinking more of this, but I took the numbers and I ran that, and this is why I feel like this is why this is a better number. Those are reasonable things to talk about a budget meeting.
I would appreciate Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia talk about the spreadsheet because that's part of the budget with our.
But we're talking about rate schedule.
But the rate schedule, even that, for the rate schedule, we need to talk about the rate. So what about the rate are you upset with, and where would you like to see it
Well,
at?
first of all, I have to say that we haven't decided on the rates because that was going to happen at the June 30th meeting that was canceled. So we have discussed briefly the, we've talked about potential increases and changes in the rates, but nothing has been decided upon. We're going to have another meeting to go over that. So the only thing that we can really work on today is the increase in the base rates, capital improvement funds, and the budget, the 26, 27.
The rate schedule you want for the year.
You got more for
Budget
us?
you want for the year.
And did you guys hear what he said? The two things you just said?
And the bill to
Please say louder.
I know you
Both
guys.
talk.
This man has the floor, all right? He's trying to tell us some things that we need to know about. So let's listen to him, please. Please and thank you. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just- We just need to
That's
listen.
because he was talking to her, not us.
Yeah. He wasn't talking.
He was talking to us, and he was talking to her.
No, he's talking, he's facing her, but he's talking to all of us.
Just have it down to the crowd. Talking to her.
Stand up and speak so we can
Use
hear
your
you back
words.
here. We can't hear.
We would like to hear.
Can't hear her. Sorry, go ahead and explain it.
Can the peanut gallery keep it down whenever senior users are addressing the board and stop chit chatting with the office staff there? Okay.
Same thing, same, on the same side.
I'm trying to hear.
Yes.
She's
Me?
talking to her.
Can you wait, please? Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Tiara.
Hi, Tiara.
I know most of you, but how is this $2 million lawsuit affecting us as users and owners? What? The car accident you were in, how is that affecting us and how is that the rate increase that we are facing? This is out of order. It's not on the agenda.
Is it a part of the budget?
This is what I'm talking about. I understand there are other issues, but we're trying to do these couple issues that we have to vote on. So if we can please move our attention to these two items, things can get moving forward. We can address other things at other meetings if they're on the agenda. Please and thank you.
That is not on the agenda and will not be discussed.
Go ahead.
And-
So who sets the agenda?
But it's budget, it's money.
Go ahead.
So you had, Sean had said, what is it that we want? What are we proposing?
Yes.
Okay, well, we collectively have not met to come up with anything, but what I would suggest is based on what the professionals have done, the research that they have done with respect to our income here, with respect to the condition of our water district, with respect to loans and grants that they recommend that the board pursue. I personally do not feel that there should be consideration of a rate increase beyond what they have recommended.
Amen.
But it's still, we're still left with a deficit. It still means the district is short.
Stop having an attorney hold your hand at all the meetings. Save us 100,000 a year on attorney fees.
I'm just going to reiterate what I already said, but I want everybody to understand what I'm saying. Something changed between March of 2026 and present. And all of a sudden, we're asked to pay 3 to 4 times what the recommended rate increase was. I think as owner users, we deserve an accounting report and a forensic accounting of how funds have been expended and what is the current status of funds.
Yes.
To cover our expenses and liabilities before the board votes on a rate change. Because we're just given a rate change of $32. Where there was a rate change of 11 and something.
Right.
Based on a third-party evaluation of our systems, our liabilities, and our needs to comply with EPA requirements. That was a third-party evaluation. Why are we not able to operate within that decision space. And what is the current status of funds within the water board? And before the water board chooses to vote on a rate increase, I think we as users deserve
Okay, you're
to know
3 minutes is up.
in right, excuse me, I think I still have a moment.
No.
You don't.
In writing, excuse me.
I'm calling it out of order and we're going to stop until order is resumed.
We voted for her to keep going.
That's right.
So when I listen to that to me,
She represents me. She's down there.
Oh, yes.
Take my permission to speak. So, you guys that know me, my name is Adam Gill, been a resident of town for about 7 years now. And my question is definitely budget related. We're talking about a rate increase for the capital improvement fund. You're saying that even with the recommended third-party company's recommendation of only increasing it $11 and some change, based on their analysis of what our current system infrastructure is looking like, based on what we as a district need, and based on what we need to be putting into our coffers for capital improvements, the general fund, which is what you just stated, barely has enough to keep us moving normally. The question I have is A, why is it that the third-party vendor that we've got, that you've hired to go through, okay, excuse me, that was brought in, whether it was you that hired it or whoever, why is it that third party, after going through all of the information, is saying we need only $11 increase to be able to operate and put money away, but the board is saying, no, we need a $22 increase because we're not putting money away. What is it that is giving you that level of information? What is it that we're not seeing as owners that you are?
So I would really suggest that everybody read all 18 pages of the RCAC report. That is a recommendation. It doesn't say this is what you should do and this is what is going to work best for Black Canyon. They give you all of this data. And
Not
then
true.
We send that to the CPA and we say, let's look at this. And then we also take a look at, and this will be on budget, we also take a look at the spreadsheet. Excuse me.
They did make a recommendation.
So I'm going to stop until there's order again, okay?
Excellent yourself.
So, and we gave it to the CPA, and we looked at all of the work that needed to be done, and the amount of funds that would increase from the $11 increase by no means matched just what we needed to fix this year. And that's why Mark was at the town hall meeting, and he gave a very, a great and a very descriptive, a very descriptive analysis of what he has seen in the district and the things that need to be repaired. And everybody that has come to this district and walked out and taken a look, they just shake their head and say, it's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. And if you can see the state of the district, you would say, well, we know $19 isn't going to be enough, but at least that's a way we can kind of get a good start.
I just have a quick question. It may be in here, but I don't know. Did you pay for this study?
No. RCAC does it totally free.
Rural Community Assistance Corporation.
I have a question. How is it for years that the water board or water company has run with no issues, no problems, with increases, but not outrageous increases?
Because then the district would not be in the horrible state of disrepair that it's
You
in.
can't tell me that this water board is any different than the other water board, and I have both.
Okay, I will tell you it's different. That's up to
It
you.
can't be no worse.
Question be recognized.
Again, I defer to Mark, our operations manager, his discussion, and the district disrepair is challenged, and I'm not calling on you anymore.
I request to be recognized, and if there's a point of order to not recognize me, I would like that to be.
I deny your request.
Hey, so I'm gonna have our operations manager, she just was telling me some things that will maybe shed some light on it. I know that she said it before, but if we can just have some respect.
Hi, everybody. I know this is really hot in here and it's really frustrating. I put together a frequently asked questions document over there. It's 5 pages long. It contains most of the questions you are all asking us right now. There's also a budget page over there, spreadsheet with all the repairs that we know of at this moment, just the well sites need. It doesn't include the pumps, it doesn't include the chlorine tanks, it doesn't include the arsenic. Okay? It's over $300,000 if you want meters to. And it is over there, and it is in writing, and I ask you please to take a copy of it so you're all informed in that information. Our electricity bill every month for the well sites is $2,100 every month. Okay? So just figure out a base rate, $32 a month. How much is that going to cover on that $2,100? Then, just the other day, we had 5 bills. Well, is it 5? Yes, 5.
4 or 5.
5 because we had to pay for 2025, and we had to pay the 811 charges because nobody paid them. And we have to pay that every year. That is a bill that has to go every year and never got paid. So, your questions about what is going on, why this district or this board is different, please look at the frequently asked questions. Please look at the response. I promise you, I put those down and it is honest. I would ask those around. Yeah, or you can, and if you run out and you need more, let me know, I'll get some more printed. But it's actual information that I have dealt with for the last 3 months in your district. I have actually, there's been some rumors about me forcing people to come in. I've asked people, please come in, let's look at the details together, and we'll figure out what's going on with your account. And I know for a fact that several people have left there very happy. I won't call out any names because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I do think that the assumption here is that this board is the problem. I can guarantee you that in enhanced billing system, I can probably find 15 to 20 accounts that have 0 reading for the last 5 years. 0 reading of water used, even though it's been used. 5 years of minimum.
How many times is water people that don't have any water in their house still being read and metered?
Okay, so.
How many?
I can't tell you that. I can tell you who the highest is. I can tell you who didn't get a read. I can also tell you that if you have a meter and you don't use water, it doesn't matter. You still have to pay the maintenance fee of $32 base fee. Everybody does.
This is not on the agenda. We're talking about increasing fees.
I know, but you guys are asking questions outside of it, and I'm not on the board. I had my 3 minutes. I had my 3 minutes.
I request to be recognized again.
I just wanted to comment that people are asking what's the difference since January, since December. I think a lot of people in this room were not aware of any problems whatsoever until they got the messed up bills in December, and now all of a sudden it's this board's problem. Some of it is this board's problem. Some of it has been going on for a lot of years. There's a lawsuit or a tax lien or something that if the board would collect on that, that would cover a bunch of stuff. It's in minutes.
Rumor mill.
Huh?
Rumor mill?
No, I read it.
No, it's in the minutes.
I read it. But also, my question is, the Rural Community Assistance Corporation is free. We didn't pay them for this study. But it also is someplace, and I didn't write it down and bring it with me, but I heard Elaine saying that they didn't have all of the information because this water district doesn't even know how much water is coming out of the wells. They didn't have the information that they needed. And so maybe if they had all the information, what they recommended would have been lower too.
It would have been more.
You don't know that.
the recommendation would have been more, why is it we're not giving them the pertinent information they need?
If you don't have, this district, it's a water district, and the irony is, there have never been meters on the wells. We have installed one, this board did, and we're looking at getting 2 more. But if you don't know what your well is putting out, because the meters have been so unpredictable, that's why we need to get all the meters changed out. You don't know what you're losing. You don't know what's going out. You really don't know.
So how can you reconcile any kind of number if you don't have the proper information? If we don't know how much water is being pumped, if we don't know how much water customers are using, how is it that you guys have the information to not only bill people what you're billing them, but to maintain this water?
We are reading meters. That's a totally different thing. Reading meters tells us how much water is going through the meter. We don't know how much water is going through the well. And the district has been operating like this for over 25 years. This board is here and actively working to get meters on those wells, and in fact has gotten at least 1 meter on 1 well, which is progress.
But if you're reading meters and you're going to tell us you don't know how much
Robert's
water.
rules, sorry. Are you finished?
Just visually help you recognize.
Not quite. So this board has been on since January of 2025?
Correct.
So why is it, after over a year, we've only managed to get 1 meter on 1 well, and we've not managed to get a handle on our meter at the home issue?
You know, this is a really sad situation because all of the questions that you're asking have been talked about on numerous occasions in board meetings, it's probably in the meeting minutes, and you're coming here asking all
That's
these
right,
questions.
I am, as an
But it's
uninformed owner member. So
the
I'm not
answer to
getting
that
the
question
answers to
would
my
be,
question.
we are working on getting the funding. And there is some remaining funds left from the well loan, the well that went bust, and we're going to ask if we can reapply those or reallocate them so we can get not only meters on the 2 wells, but do some other assessing on the meters. And I believe there was a flyer back there that answered those questions. Okay, so I'm going on to
And
yes.
that's why we're asking these questions.
Can you? I can't see.
So you're saying that you don't know how much water is going through the wells, but yet you're reading all of our meters. So in consensus, if you're reading all of our meters, you should know how much water is
No,
coming
you
out of
don't
our
have to
wells.
know how much is going through the well. The well puts out the water, then the water hits.
I
the meter.
understand how the
And then
system
the water
works. You
goes
just told
through
us
the
that
meter.
you don't have a number.
Yes, sir, we do.
You literally just said you only have 1 meter on 1 well, and you have no accountability for how much water is going through the other wells.
That's right. Yes.
And
Again,
so if you're giving accurate readings off of our meters, you should know which of our meters are correlated to those 2 wells, so you should know how many gallons are coming out of them.
I'm not going to address you with your voice being so.
We will see you in court.
I'll answer you.
Why not?
Right? Yeah, we can hear
I'm not going to answer anything until
She doesn't
there's
like-
order.
This is
So,
it's useless.
If I'm getting a reading from my end, right, at my house, and you don't have a reading at the well, who's to say there's leaks, other things like that, waste? Those things are important to us because the water is important. That's what makes the money for this, so that we're not asking you guys for more money. So if there's things going on, we have to know that about the wells. And it's important to have those readings on the wells. Wouldn't you agree?
Whether you have a leak or not, your numbers.
But you still would have numbers, an estimated number that's coming out of the well.
But also, they still get the reading, the stick, whatever the reading mechanism is, I'm not doing the reading, so I can speak to that.
So up until January, we were getting well reports of where our wells were, and we no longer are.
And that's correct, and again, it's in the meeting minutes, and if you watch the video.
We're here for answers, not meeting minutes.
Right.
So, we did not have the equipment to do the depth measurement. We don't know how the other operations team did it. They could have just been like throwing a stone down, listening, I don't know, and I'm being sarcastic. So we just ordered the device that's needed. It's a rope-like thing that goes down into the well, and when it hits water, it sends a message back up. So Mark just got that about last week.
A week and a half ago, and he has been fixing some leaks. And also, the enhanced billing system will run overall of what water has been used. Overall, it won't tell specific ones.
But the point I wanted to make, and I might not be explaining it well, but you have water coming out of the well, and then it reaches your house, and you have this meter here. That water has to go through the meter, and the meter measures how much is going in your house. That's how we read the meters for our properties.
I understand that, and based on those readings, you should have an analysis of how much water is coming out of the well every month.
And that's what she did. She estimated, she made some estimates just based on that information. You are absolutely correct. And that's a very good way of explaining it, and that's how RCAC came up with some of their numbers.
Pretty good. What about
Okay?
you?
No, I still have an hour. No, you won't.
Yes, so I've got a couple of questions. One of them being, are we paying for the air conditioning at that office? Because it seems like there's a lot of people there. On weekends, past hours. Who's paying for that air conditioning bill? And it also looks like there's also a lot of frivolous mismanagement of funds, hence the attorney and this CPA firm as well. Okay, and did we really need a fancy new office with all this fancy new equipment? I would get it if all the bills were correct, but they haven't been. So it seems like a lot of frivolous expenses and mismanagement of funds.
Yesterday,
So give her more.
yesterday I got a phone call from Mark, okay? Baby's pizza meter is being changed a year and a half. Randy changed it. I got a phone call, he wants to change it because he doesn't have a job to do because he has the leaks. He has the leaks? Why change the meter, which is brand new meter? Number one.
Complaining about your metering.
Hold on, don't tell me that.
It's her time.
This is not a
Number
discussion.
two, you have a house?
Well, it is, it's part of the budget.
Stop. 3 minutes.
We're talking about the two things that
The meter is expensive too. If you have a house, have kids, have family, you know how to budget your money. You don't need 2 people in the office. You don't need too many people to manage this. You don't know our money? Get out and we can know how to do our money. Because I'm paying more than everybody is paying. And then you're gonna raise it more than everybody here because it's a commercial. No, I don't want that happening.
Hey, thank you. My name is Ryan Gracie. I'm a resident, I'm an owner, I'm a city. I've been here about 4 years. It's a wonderful community. I'm going to tell you, I love the Christmas. I know I'm using my 3 minutes, right? I love our community.
Yes.
Live a life and lead. Getting back to your question, or your direction, that we should be talking about what we suggest for the rates and the budget. This is what I would say to you. There's a lot of misinformation on where the money is spent.
Yes.
I'm a plant manager, general manager for dairy for 38 years. So I have a little bit of an understanding of balance sheets. And I've looked at this, and I can tell you that it's not very forthcoming. So my recommendation for the rate is stop. Everyone wants to know where the money is being spent.
Yes.
And I think there's comments that when I look at this, I see money and I don't see money. I've seen some things that are in this online as far as going to different accounts, but there's a lot of money that's going out to capital, which I don't know. Maybe it's the air conditioning or building, I don't know. But my suggestion, stop.
Yes.
Everyone's mad.
Yes.
You're being disrespectful.
Yeah.
If I were at a meeting right now, I don't put up with that. That's disrespectful when I'm trying to talk to you.
Absolutely.
So my opinion, my suggestion, stop. And I think there should be an understanding and put it online where the money is being spent. I want to know what was spent for that capital. That's what I want to know. This is something you're not going to like. How many residents do we have? How many users?
869.
The math does not fit.
It doesn't fit.
So I'm going to tell you something. When I look at even your proposal for 2026 and 2028, and then I look at what you're suggesting is going to be an increase for us, is a fallacy. We're going to be here next year doing the same thing. So right now, what I'm suggesting, stop. Everyone's mad. Where'd the money go? And I think we need to know, especially where money went in the capital. That's what I would suggest. The other thing, I will tell you, I haven't had my meter read for a long time. We have a golf cart, as you know. And I have left one of my neighbors that was doing some work for you to read meters. I let him do that for like 3 or 4 days. No charge. Because I'm in on this. I'm doing all these things. But what bothers me, I get these big bills. So my wife has a pump, and I'm sure somebody goes up to over the wall water. We're very conservative with water, but we do have some things. I know that the meters haven't been read. And I got these big bills and then gaps. I know, I'm just telling you, stop with the increase until you evolve. And I asked when we're doing the meter reading, I want to be there. My wife went in to pay a bill. It was none of you, thank goodness. Told her that I'm one of the bad ones. I'm one of the naughty ones. Do you understand? I paid for this. Like everyone here. You had the audacity, somebody in your office, I would terminate them. Attorney.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Enough.
I would have talked to you, and I would have talked to you. But I'm telling you, right now everyone's pitched. And I am too. When I look at your numbers, they don't got it. You're not showing us anything. It's this. So you need to, before you do any rate increase, show us where the money went, and I would suggest resign.
Resign. Resign. Resign. Resign, Elaine Clayton. Resign. Give us a break.
Be five, girls. We're not going to take any more comments. There's order in here. You know what's up with
Another one right in front.
But my hand's been up for a while and I have a legit question.
I can't see, that's what I'm trying to see. Yes? Okay, you'll be next.
Okay.
No, you're
Next, right now.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll stop the one behind you.
Okay. There's just been some things that have been happening, not to me, luckily,
Okay.
but people have gotten bills for $2,000. Yeah, I'll tell them what's happening there. Is the computer running amok or what's happening? And, you know, this is something that needs to be fixed. I mean, everybody's, imagine how alarming it is. And she's not listening. Imagine how alarming it is.
Nope.
And we got
Total
bills
disrespect.
with zero balance.
Manipulates
That got sent out, so nobody's gonna pay. If the billing's not correct, nobody's gonna pay. I got a bill that said I didn't owe anything. Well, I know that's a lie.
Okay, it's out of order and we're going to stop until order is
I'm not gonna lie to
Go ahead.
Okay, and I know for sure, my meter hasn't been read in 30 years.
This isn't about meter reading,
Okay,
this is
well,
fees.
so, okay, so.
It is.
You're interrupting. How
I'm
can,
trying to keep the meeting in order and on topic.
You're out of order. Out of order. That's when we should turn her Okay. So, you know, how are you generating yeses on people's meters? That's not fair, you know? So I'm waiting for that all to settle out. You don't know who I am, but you would if I told you my story. And the other thing is that I have heard, and I would like confirmation or disconfirmation, that our bills a few years ago went up a lot because someone was being sued. Somebody on the then board got a contract with somebody here in town to do some work, and it cost a lot of money. There was some kind of destruction, and all those lawyer fees went into our water bill payments. And now I hear there's another lawsuit afoot.
Yes.
Wait, be careful with that. 'Cause
I'm not saying a word about who, and I don't care. But will it go into our water bill? Are we as owners responsible for paying lawyer fees for people who are representing us?
Yes.
Why do you need an attorney here? Can't you
Yeah.
write it for you?
So those are my
Trickles down.
reports. Thank you.
Right there.
This is hard. It's hard.
Okay, thank you.
Please let her talk because she knows what she's doing.
What was your name on?
Me? Jan.
Jen Price? Prince. Jen, if you look at that frequently asked questions, you'll find your name.
Okay, so if this rate increase goes up, one, where's the money gonna be spent? How are you guys proposing our infrastructures to get rebuilt, fixed? How are we gonna get all these things that we need? What's the plan, and where's that money coming from, and how's that affecting us?
Alicia is not the operations manager, but she is the district coordinator, and she's the best one to answer that as best she can. But, you know,
I can allocate one bite at a time.
But there should be a plan.
There is a plan. If you look at that yellow in my spreadsheet I gave you guys, that's where we want to start, okay? And that does not include the meters because that's a huge expense and that's without install.
But don't the owners pay for those anyhow?
They would if the bills had been kept up the way they were should have from the beginning of time. But you gotta understand, you're running in a deficit because you have people that aren't paying water bills because they don't have anything on their meter, and we're changing them out as fast as we can. The other thing is we're paying those bills from other times when this board wasn't even there. So, you know, and I heard somebody say something about this fancy equipment. Let me tell you that. The dinosaur of computers. That's the least prints of computers that I could ever use, that I've ever used. In fact, I've never had one monitor for probably 10 years. So just gonna take care of that fallacy. But no, the problem is one at a time, get the meters read, get information correct into the system. We have 8 different meters out there. They're read 8 different ways. Your Metrons are the best. Yes, we'd love to give you all Metrons. And if I can find a grant to get them for you, I will. But I spend all my time, every day, talking about bills and how we got here.
Isn't that your job?
Yes, but if you want a grant writer.
I offered to work Saturdays and I was told no, just to help the users.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. All I'm saying is there's only one of you, and I cannot do everything all the time.
What are you
I just have a quick question. So I'm looking at budget line items and you're saying that your computers are.
I'm sorry, what?
We can't hear you. You said you're talking about your computers, a dinosaur, your equipment or whatever. So I'm looking at last year that we spent $23,000 on computers and supplies. One more question.
Thank you.
So I'd like to know, I mean, I would like to go line item by line item in the budget to see exactly what expenses go into those line items. So you mentioned $2,100 a month that you pay for electricity for the meters.
For the wells.
For the wells, I'm sorry. So the only thing I see on here is utilities, water, and you're budgeting $40,000. Well, I take, well, yeah, it's like $21,000. So why are we budgeting 40? If it's $2,100 a month for an electric bill, why is the budget 40 if that comes to like, I think it was $21,500?
21,000 is just the websites, okay? And you have to figure it, I don't know, I have not read that line item by line item, but we have gas, natural gas that we use, we have propane because the generators need propane. The generators haven't been serviced and I can't even tell you when. And we don't have a contract for that set up yet. So we don't know what that price is.
So I guess what I'm saying is I would love to, this budget is, I mean, I've been.
I would love to look at that too.
And I've for a long time, and these line items, they're just so generic.
I wonder if you can combine buckets to simplify and make it one, like the utilities all in one. I don't know.
To do a line item.
I'd have to ask that.
So we're not, I want to have these suggestions because it was, we knew Natalie wasn't going to be able to be here today, but there is a meeting, and I don't remember the date, where she was present, and she did talk about the budget. So that would be a good one to watch. And then
I'm sorry,
we're gonna have.
I did watch that meeting.
Pardon?
I watched that meeting.
Yeah.
And I still stand with this budget saying that it's not broken down enough. So if you have travel expenses, like what travel is that?
Sometimes we pay travel expenses when we have a general manager. We would have to pay him so much, but we don't have that.
Okay, so that's a different line item than travel. Travel is I'm going to fly or going to a conference.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like those, I think those need to be broken down because this is extremely general.
So,
If you're paying this.
Natalie will come to a meeting, but again, she wasn't here tonight, and when she was here, she did not.
That's useful. What are we paying for?
I can't answer those questions. She's the CPA. And that's not in my, and that's fine. She will come to a meeting and they'll.
I'm just saying that if we're getting an increase, we need to know exactly what the expenses are.
Can I get your name? We have gone over why we need this. So we have discussed it at length, and the reason for it is without a rate increase, just the day-to-day mechanical equipment will fail. It is, I cannot overemphasize the condition, how deteriorated and degraded this district is.
I know, I understand that, but I'm just saying that as an owner, that I feel like if you're gonna increase my rates, I wanna know exactly where the current budget, and like even this past year, what went into these expenses?
Well, we will schedule a meeting for Natalie to come and go over budget. She's aware that there would be questions, and so she knows that she won't need to attend a meeting in the near future.
But aren't you going to vote on this tonight?
Yes, we're gonna.
Are you gonna vote on it? How can you vote on it?
You've already made your minds up.
No, we have not voted.
But you're saying.
We have not voted.
I see that coming.
What's the question?
So regardless of what we say, you're gonna vote anyway, or what we say.
So we're not gonna answer anything until there's order and people are quiet, please, really. But one, please answer your question.
My question is, have you guys already made your mind up on the rate increases? And if you have, why are we all here expressing our opinions if it doesn't really matter?
That's true.
Right, it sounds like you've already made your minds up.
We haven't voted, so how could we make our minds
So
up?
come on, you're portraying that you are going to vote for rate increases.
We are gonna have to raise the rates.
And you are portraying that you are going to adopt this budget that is crazy out of line.
Yep. I disagree on the points. Until we vote on the points, we can't say how it's going to turn out. So that's not a question that can be answered. Can I be recognized? Yes.
She's had her hand up.
Yes. This question is going to be directly to you, Elaine. It's either a yes or no. When Elaine first got on the board, I know the Malpas manager is real close to me. And when I went into the office to talk to her, she looked me in the face, told me straight from the mouth, the office manager, that Elaine has a, I don't know if it's a debit card or a credit card. Elaine, yes or no? When you first started on the board, did you have a debit card or a credit card? Yes or no?
Yes.
I do not have a credit card.
No, debit card or credit card?
Yes, the district has a debit card.
In your name.
No, it's not in my name. It's in Black Canyon City. No.
But you did have a debit card and a credit card.
The debit card is in the district.
Did you have one
Did you have a new position that you were doing?
What?
Did you have a debit card in your position?
Of course I do. We get office supplies, we pay postage, we pay for parts that have to be ordered and paid for online.
Where's that?
Everything that is paid for on that debit card is CPA tax. Receipts have to be turned in every month to account for everything.
Next gentleman over here in the corner.
Yes,
Where are the receipts being turned in?
the CPA.
Okay, do you have a treasurer on the board who is supposed to be getting receipts?
This has nothing to do with the rates. So we're gonna.
I'm not going to start talking to you,
This bar.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
General question, it doesn't have anything to do with the rates, but that doesn't seem to matter in this meeting.
No, you know,
I'm speaking, and so I would like to know, are you a paid employee of Black Canyon Water Improvement District? Paid employee, why are you here on record? She is not a paid employee of Black Canyon Water. So under what employment terms are you out reading meters?
I'm not out reading meters.
Oh, really? I want
This is off topic on the budget, and we're gonna stop till we get back.
Well, I'd like to get it back on topic.
We're gonna stop until it's, no, we'll wait till there's orders.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman.
Wait till there's.
I was called on by your board member, so you're out of order.
Exactly.
So I'll stop right there. But everybody in this room, hello, my name is Brian Bowman. I live here in Black Canyon City since 2017. I've sat on many boards in my lifetime.
This is
Excuse
not
me.
related.
Excuse me. I have 3 minutes.
Listen to him.
Let him talk.
He's giving us credentials. Listen up, Judge.
What?
Taking his attorney on the clock.
Taking his
I have sat on many boards in my lifetime where fiduciary responsibility was slipped and caused major contributions to the organizations that I sat on the board with. Now, what I'm saying to the board here is all we're asking for is transparency. I'll give you a $21 increase. I'll give you a $31 increase today. Tell me where my money's going and how much is going into the capital fund. Is it going to stay there, or are we going to rob it like the government does?
Yeah.
That's a conversation for the CPA
That's a conversation for you. It's for you, you're the chairman. That's a conversation for the board. Come on.
Why are we going down here?
Come on.
Who wants, I don't want to increase it if it's not going towards stuff.
I want to know where it's going. As the board, you guys have the responsibility to lay it out to the people. So that I want to know, we have no money in our capital fund because it's been moved over to make major repairs or other repairs, not major. According to Elaine, it's been regular repairs. So if we're going to give you a 21, I'll give you a $31 increase. I want to know, is $15 going into the capital fund so we can do the $400,000 meter changes we need?
How are you? The thing that I've looked at, right, so I know that the accountant came and she wanted this big one. I tried to come at it and cut it in half, and then I looked at it and we went over the numbers, and then it didn't make sense, and I was like, dang, because I wanted to do kind of steps, because obviously it's a big chunk.
That's from Natalie, about what to do with that.
You're interrupting.
All right, so as I was saying, and you were there too, remember when we were talking about the increases?
I wasn't there.
The first time, we talked a while ago, when we just began to talk about it. Anyways, so we had talked about it, and then I looked at it, I wish we had it in front of us, I thought we did, but it shows you the differences, and where we'll be at in the end if we don't go there. So if we don't have this increase, we're in the red.
That I understand.
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the $21 increase. The system is garbage. Let's call it garbage, okay? Let's say it's down. We got galvanized pipe where it doesn't belong. We got lead contaminants.
I won't even talk about the reports that are being done on water.
Yes.
So I won't talk about that. If I give this board $31 or $21 increase in my bill, I want to know that what percentage is going into capital fund and staying there. Because if we go to 21, according to Elaine, we'll be in the black. So we're in the black.
That's $24,000 a month.
Wow.
Now, I have been on board where we have set up assessments for 18 months to customers. And all right, it hurts, I'm not gonna lie. But they came to us and said, listen, we need to get $50 a month for the next 18 months to raise this money to do a capital improvement. We can do it. It might hurt. We might have to strip somewhere else or something. But I know at the end of the 18 months, that $50 is going away. With the people managing and being transparent.
That's the deadline.
And you need to know that that money is going straight to that account to do that stuff. So if the board came to me and said, hey, Mr. Bone, we want to charge you $50 for 18 months. We're going to put in that new meter after 18 months because you paid the bill. After 18 months, that $50 goes away. I want to make sure that the board is not moving money from that account to somewhere else because we have a water leak for $7,000 at the VFW, which is you guys telling me that. I didn't know it. But to me, in business, $7,000 is nothing. We're running a I won't say million, but I've got to say we generate over $1 million to $2 million in revenue to this business a year. All right, I'll hold $1 million. We generate $1 million in revenue.
He said that we ran $40,000 in late bills just this last month. $40,000 that
I get. But on the books, if I take my 800 residents and I say we're charging $100 a month from them, take that and times that by 12, that's your number in revenue. I'm not saying it's your gross, and I'm not saying it's your net. That's your revenue. Now we break everything else down. And the breakdowns aren't there. It's generic. And I've seen it over and over again. Somebody else has mentioned it. I know my 3 minutes is up. I'm done. And that's what I got to say.
Okay, John.
So I guess, first of all, I do want to clarify that it's about average $50,000 a month that comes in from us, and all that money goes into one account, the BMO account, okay? And then from there, it gets moved out to different accounts, or it's supposed to get moved out to different accounts, like the capital improvement account, the arsenic, and that type of thing. And that's what has not been happening in 2026. People keep asking, what do we have? And I have the May financial report. It's on the website. I encourage you to look at it. And you will see as of the end of May, in the BMO account, after moving money over to just the general fund, which is the monthly expenses, we have $457.
Where's the 70?
Wait a minute. And then, if you go over to our general account, which is where we pay our bills, like this is where we pay Mark on their repair and things, this is where we pay Natalie, this is where we pay Mr. Whittington, workers' comp premiums. We have $6,623.18 in there as of the end of May. We don't have the June report yet. Okay, so when you ask the question, we want to know where the money is going. We're not getting answers here. I have answers. And I suggest that if you go to the website, BCCWID.com, reports, financial reports, and look at those reports, and you're going to see where the money's going. And why nothing got moved into the capital improvement.
I'd like to
Yes.
May I speak, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
the other day at the library. How many of you remember what she said she had in leftover WIFA funds? What'd she say? What'd she say?
240,000.
240,000? Where's your front page?
There it is.
There we go. This number, according to Natalie, is the number we have total for all the accounts in the bank.
How much is that?
$170,000, 170,309.
Wow.
She said there's $240,000 leftover WIFA funds. Leftover WIFA funds that she's tried to reallocate, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times? Laugh at me. Laugh at me. I'm standing here in the name of Jesus to call you out. $3,000 postage in 1 month.
Yeah.
1 month. She's mismanaged the funds. She's kept the information away from me. I don't get receipts. I don't get invoices. I don't get nothing. All I get is what Natalie sends.
You are the treasurer.
Treasurer here.
A month away from the. I called the sheriff this afternoon, and I let them know that I believe that there's malfeasance going on. She's laughing at you. She thinks you're stupid people. She thinks we're all stupid.
You're in trouble.
We need an investigation.
And you're just enabling her.
I have to have some clarification. So you think that the WIPO loan should be in our account? It's a WIPO loan. It's in the government's account. It's not in our account. That's how a WIPO loan works. What are you talking about?
Sean.
That doesn't make any sense.
How long have you been here?
You call her a thief, first of all.
She is a
Mandatory.
thief. Why are we paying a $2 million lawsuit? I was at the scene of that accident. Here, okay, Natalie, because you know what? When they call me to court, I can testify against all this time. Look what she spent. It's on her page.
That's what made it this.
Yep. She said, that was all for me.
Boy, what a time for this camera to take a dump. What a bummer.
Right before there's some actionable things that we will know. Throwing around accusations and throwing around these things do not move us forward. Okay? So let's work on what's actionable. All right? What is actionable is that the board is proposing a rate increase that many of us users do not feel is verified by the information that we have been given. Right. So, before the board votes on a rate increase, we should ask for a better accounting, a forensic accounting from last year to this year, and what our encumbrances and our liabilities and our needs are. I have defended the guys that go out and do the repairs. And in my neighborhood where we ran out of water a couple of times. And we're fed false information. We're fed false information. We had a board that was not producing well previously. We voted in a board that we hoped would produce better. And we have expectations. For instance, when a tank is just running over for 4 days and I estimate thousands of gallons, and the guy tells me, no, that's not what happens. I'm like, I'm 27 years a firefighter. I know how much water comes out of an 1.5-inch hose when it runs for 2.5 days. But they did eventually get on it, and they did address it, but they exposed the liabilities to that. This is an aged system. It's an aged system. There are going to be costs related to bringing the system up to grade, and having reliable water, and having water that meets water quality standards. However, accountability and transparency and the collection and expenditure of funds is not there based on my personal experience. And I feel like there are a number of people in this room that feel the same way. And so before the board votes on a change in rates, I think the owner users should expect a reasonable report on why this is required, tied exactly to the needs of the system, just like the RCAC report was, specific to those needs. There are other issues on in the periphery. And on those issues in the periphery, I would, you went out. I have 30 plus years in public administration, budgets and liabilities. People should not look beyond the scope of duties, and they should not encumber liabilities to their organization when they work beyond the scope of duties. We're not, no, let's just keep it aside, keep it aside. Those are all things that will be revealed in time, but it's also something that the owner users have a right to know. So before the board moves forward with expenses, I think more of these things need to be revealed. What is the cost? Is this gentleman so adequately, he clearly, put together, and I have both reports with me, but what money is going where? In the prior board, I had to go through dispute resolution, and I found that this board has no dispute resolution process. So I walked in with who was then Sarah, and I said, I think you guys are high. There's no way I use 40,000 gallons of water a month because I'm a firefighter and I know how much water that is. So I'll pay the average of the last 3 bills, and you guys fix this. Even all the other deficiencies in the last board, they gave me a new meter, and they didn't charge me the hundreds of dollars that they were going to. So there's a lack of transparency, there's a lack of awareness of how our funds are being allocated and spent. And that's the general concern of our constituency. And before this board chooses to vote on a rate increase, I think that transparency needs to be bridged. We need to know how our funds are being spent, line item wise. And I would advocate for the board also that you make sure that you have a proper quorum when you vote on these things. Because if you vote on something that personally benefits an individual, that person should recuse themselves. And when that person recuses themselves, you have to evaluate whether there's a quorum or not. And if there is not a quorum, it's not a valid vote. And you cannot encumber resources of the water district when there is not a quorum to vote for encumbering expenses, legal or otherwise.
Listening, Vince. Listening, Marina.
We're back to our celebration hand over there, and then we're going to move on to else.
Going to the capital improvement side of this meeting, if there is such a thing. I've been here 30 years. I was on the north end of Maggie Mine Road. I didn't even have 20 pounds water pressure 30 years ago. I'm not blaming this board. You guys had nothing to do with that. Randy Rabina never fixed the problem, and how many years he was here. Many of my neighbors have had to install pumps and booster systems and pressure tanks to be able to take decent showers over 20 pounds per square inch. As a plumber, I know about water pressure, not a problem. It's not fair to these customers up there, and there's probably 10 of them that I know of personally, and I work with them, and they're my neighbors. And I check their water systems. To this day, many of them still do not have the minimum lawfully required 20 PSI on their water systems. Now, if you're going to build in capital gains improvements, I think it would be fair to these people that they get an improvement up there at some point, because they're being double dipped right now. They're being totally screwed over. When your water systems go bad, when your water system goes down, their pumps burn up.
Yep.
Because there's no water. Now they're out of pump.
Yep.
Who's repaying for their pump? They are.
Totally agree with you.
It's not fair to them.
And that is something
Please
that we
address that in capital
are
gains.
looking at.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, capital improvement, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Let's move on.
here, where's your decision? I forgot.
That's fine, I got it.
Okay, great, but we're moving on to, where are we? So, Bill, I want to make sure we're doing this correctly. We're going to close the public hearing.
On the rate increase, now you move to the public hearing of the budget.
Yeah. All right. So, Sean, you want to go? We need to limit.
Can you say that? Or you gotta open that?
Open it up.
All right, so we're closing the first one, open the next one. This is specifically budget. I know that it kind of like meshed up, so we're just winding the time. We're being flexible here. So now this is specifically the budget part of it. And yes, go ahead.
Well, this is, keep talking.
No, that's it.
So, on page 1, May, page 1.
This madam over here has the floor, please. Yeah.
On page 1, May, Elaine, can you please tell me what $482 actual revenue is?
I have no idea. I would have to ask Natalie. I don't know what that is. What is that on?
May.
May what?
2026.
I don't know what you're looking at.
Your CPA's report. We all have copies posted online.
That is something the CPA will have to answer. I cannot answer for
She
you.
actually produced it.
How can we vote for a budget if we don't have the
She's not here, and I know you were talking about the budget.
Because she was here at the meeting before.
Because anything goes.
So we're not going to continue until we have some order and respectful to the
Yeah, I'm not done.
No, I know.
Okay, yes. I did call in today and I asked for a simplified income statement. I got laughed at as I was asking for it. I want a simplified income statement that 90% of people can read instead of 13 pages of cash flow statement. There's a difference. I'd like a balance sheet, I'd like a schedule of debt, and I would like a depreciation schedule.
So you have to fill out a records request, and I will send you one online.
I will do that.
And Natalie will be the one that will get back to you on that, okay?
But we are discussing budget right now, so what you're saying on this May 2026 monthly financial summary is that we had actual revenues of $536,000. We had budgeted for 25, $805,000. Revenue deficit of $270,000. For expenditures, we budgeted $714,000. We spent $1.1 million. So that's a difference of $393,000 over budget. And a difference of $270,000 under budget in collections. That means we are $663,000 in the hole. It doesn't mean that? You're disagreeing that Natalie said that we spent $1
I am saying
million?
that that's a question for Natalie, but if I agree with that from what I know, no, I would not agree with that from a layman's perspective, as Elaine Clayton, but that is a Natalie question, because that's what she does.
But you're, I mean, she is correct, we are in a deficit. That point we can make clear. Absolutely, we're saying that.
Right.
Absolutely.
However, those expenditures that we're in the deficit for are not for capital improvements. It's for lawyers and CPAs and taking people to lunch and doing this and doing that. $5,000, $4,000 in postage in a month? Why? Explain.
We have receipts for postage that we would love to explain, that's a Natalie question. And so we're going to just
The average cost to mail a postcard is 61 cents. However, when you bulk mail and you are a business, it goes somewhere between 29 cents and what, 40 cents?
No,
Whoa, you're not part of the board.
Excuse me, no.
I'm still talking. If you multiply that by 900 customers, even though we know there are not 900 customers, that comes up to $549 a month
79 cents or something.
to mail out bills. But if you add up the postage that we spent,
They don't even bother.
it comes up to $1,448.
We got
Now,
big
on page 9 of May, we show on page 3 that we spent $1,448, but on page 9, it doesn't coincide with that. It says $1,818. Where's that difference come from? Where's the $370 difference?
We don't have receipts, we cannot answer that question. We don't have
$6,000.
Yes.
Prove that.
So that specific one was for the incident at our well.
Okay, did you guys not vote on a cap?
Yes.
Okay, what was the cap amount?
$6,000.
There were two votes. There was one vote for, to go talk to an attorney, and they capped that. However, the attorneys did not charge for the initial consultation, so that wasn't even used.
Do you realize that it would have been way cheaper for you just to take your hand slapping and be done with it?
Yep.
But no, instead, we've got this dragging on criminal attorney that's already cost $6,000 because you have this ego trip that you're gonna cut locks. And you ended up costing this water district $6,000 already. Are you going to pay for that?
You understand the whole situation that happened there?
Yes, I do. I watched the meeting and I heard all about it on the meeting. She cut the locks, Derek wouldn't let you guys in, blah, blah, blah.
Right, we had guys in Tucson, the guys that were taking over the situation. So you want them to take over a contract, they can't look at their stuff.
But you can't do that.
We can go ahead.
The outcome of that situation remains to be seen, so it's very premature to judge my guilt and whether or not I couldn't do that.
You should have just pled guilty and been done with it.
That's your opinion, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
But instead, you opted to let us pay for it.
Again, the outcome has not been determined on that, so I'm not going to say anything else.
Okay, you guys have in your budget maintenance repairs for facility. Am I incorrect whenever I say that office is a rented office? What possibly could you have as a maintenance repair to the facility?
You would have to ask Natalie, I don't know what she was considering.
Cray.
Like walls? I mean,
maybe it was.
so maybe it was. You're not part of the board either, I'm not really.
Excuse me, she may not be part of the board, but she is a part of the office, and she has knowledge.
But this is a board meeting, correct?
Yes, I'm going to let her answer, thank you.
Okay.
Facility may be the actual well, is that part of what it is? Okay.
Nothing to do with
And Alicia, what were you going to say when you were told you couldn't speak? What was the topic?
It's just written, I just been.
So you're basically proposing to increase water service revenue, $158,490. Plus, you want to increase capital fund surcharge, $67,200 for the year.
It is.
It's on the budget. We all have a copy, it's online.
If that's the math you did, then that would be at $3 a month and at 19, whatever that was, 19. Changed.
When we increase the budget based on your proposal.
You do not have the floor. Yes?
I think the frustration, there's a lot of frustration, but talking about the budget now, we're asking questions about the budget. You guys are not able to answer the questions. yet we know you're gonna vote on the budget. How can you vote on the budget when you don't even really understand what is in each one of these categories?
We have had a number of meetings, people have had time to comment. There's been ample opportunity. We started the budget process several months ago. The RCAC report was online, the budget was online, it was out here, it was in the post office, and the CPA was in the meeting fully prepared to answer all of your questions at the town hall, because we knew she would not be here today. So, this is where we
You guys should know the answer though, when we're asking like what's included in these categories. That's all
I understand that, and I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, and I'm not going to answer that question.
So you're the chair, you should be able to answer it. If you're overlooking it.
No. Yes.
When can you schedule a meeting where the CPA can be here so they can answer some of these unanswered questions? That would be very
I will
helpful.
answer his question
Defer.
in order and no talking, and be respectful. I believe she gave some dates, perhaps this week. I talked about trying to schedule one next week, because we do need to have another meeting. There were other items on the June 30th meeting, and that meeting was canceled because we didn't have a quorum. You were there.
Can we get more than 8 hours notice? It would be helpful.
Yeah.
Not to be negative,
The
but
responsibility is 24 hours notice.
so we didn't get it this time.
Well, the courtesy would be
This doesn't
4
answer the
days.
question.
So, we do the best we can, but sometimes based on schedules, we have to take the most opportune time that we can. And in this particular case though, because we need to ratify a matter, a 72-hour notice will be given. Okay? I'm not sure exactly when, but it will be a 72-hour notice. Yes.
I have a question. Yes, ma'am. Is there a state commissioner here who's meeting today?
A state commissioner?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Okay, then this whole thing, if you guys make a decision tonight, that this whole thing is illegal, is not legal at all, with that state commissioner present. I guess you didn't know that.
Well, that's not correct, but
That is
yes.
correct. My question is.
Oh, wait, somebody is wanting to ask a question and we're not going to do it.
So my question is about the meetings. Can we make it 6 o'clock?
Can you what?
Can we change the time to 6 o'clock? Because a lot of people obviously weren't coming to meetings because they can't get here at 5 o'clock, they work in town or whatever. I know a lot of people agree 6 o'clock would be better. Even just that way more people could show up and voice concerns.
So you're not the first person to ask that, and this board will absolutely consider that. The only problem is we have to find a place to meet, and Lori and Randy, they know that, well, with this one, the school floors are being, sometimes it's really difficult to find a meeting place, but we will do our best. That is fine. I do have someone on the phone who's attending telephonically. What is your name? Carrie Gillespie, owner user, and what is your question? Sorry, I called you late. I'm sorry.
Regarding the standby and water fee increases. I just wanted to make note of that.
We have not voted on any of those fees, so she's talking about standby fees.
Yes. Yeah, any water rate increase.
She was requesting that the board wait to make any, to vote on anything until more information is available.
Yes. That's what we all want.
No, we're gonna stop every time there's too much noise and we can't hear one another. Okay, go ahead.
Regarding the 27 budget, on the software and computer and that line item,
are looking at new billing software. And right now, the amount that Enhanced charges for an annual, for their service annually is $8,000. So that's what she may have budgeted in there.
Madam Chair, you need to repeat the question.
Oh, sorry. Hold it. So her question was, if the billing system, I'm sorry, repeat it. If the billing system, okay, just a second before I forget. So she wants to know if the new billing system is what is included on the budget that Paul had talked about on the 23rd, and that is not. We have not decided on which billing software we're going to get. We are absolutely going to replace the billing software with something that is much more effective and much more up to date, and less than $8,000. Okay.
They got to the right.
I can't answer that with certainty, but okay, we're going to stop until it's quiet, please. Her question is that Paul demonstrated and spoke of a billing software at a meeting, and she's wondering if the billing software that we're considering is the same. Alicia?
We're looking at El Dorado system, which they will give us a tablet for the field person, Mark, to take with him out to the meters.
One of your board members is gone. I think you gotta take.
And he.
Regarding the software that we're looking at, the question is that will we own the equipment or will we always have to lease it? And once in our arrangement, whoever be providing it, let's say that arrangement, we separate. Are we out? Do we have to start over? Is there a fee? Because obviously there's always a fee for software updates. And so what does that look like? Is that being included in our projections or budget?
What was your name again?
Carrie.
Carrie, hi. It's Alicia. And
hold on, wait a second. We need to time out until Sean comes back.
The board member took a 5-minute break for that.
Well, so let's take a 5-minute break. Okay, I'm going to put you on mute, okay?
How you guys doing? Good questions.
I know they're trying. It's better to be out in the sun. I think it's just there's so many people in here. Like, we know we're going to have a meeting of local operators and it's 67 degrees. So you know the door's going to be open, people are going to come in and do something. But at least none of the units have it.
Okay, this has gone bad, so I'm going to try a restream and hope that it won't be jumping all over like it is. So be back in about 5 minutes or so.
We don't know how those funds are being used based on the information we have been given. We, as owner users, deserve to know that. It's a simple thing. How have monies been expended since the board came into place? If there's a rate request to increase, what is the third party evaluation? Elaine, please don't talk over me while I'm speaking. What is the third party evaluation of that need? And can it be graduated just like the RCAC report was done? So that we as users know, okay, if we take a $12 increase a month, if we take a $30 increase a month, what do we expect? But then there also should be transparency on how those funds will be.
So your 3 minutes is up and so
No.
I am taking over the floor.
You've exceeded your authority. You can have board charges filed against you.
Go ahead.
The last thing,
We're going to.
Chair, can I not take the floor?
The last thing I would say.
I am taking the floor.
No, you're not.
You never is that things should be transparent to the owner users prior to the board voting on a rate increase.
And you have made your point, and you will not be called on again.
You exceeded your authority again.
So, do you have any, I am the board chair.
That doesn't mean you can exceed your authority. You're limited.
I just want to offer, for transparency reasons, I'm willing to pay for an overhead projector for transparency reasons.
I'm sorry,
I'm willing to pay for an overhead projector for transparency reasons, where you can put those numbers on the wall for all of us to see.
Hey, I've got one. I'll donate it to the
That's what we
BCCWID.
need. That's what we need. Just a suggestion.
Any other questions or comments? Oh wait, did we finish answering your question to the person on the whole, Carrie?
She had 3 minutes.
We have to come up with a budget.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what, we have not decided on a budget, and that's a question that we don't have the answer for, so we could wait until Alicia does her presentation, that would be great.
On what? Are we talking about the billing enhanced? Okay, enhanced billing process software takes $8,600 a year. It's very expensive, it's very limited. Every time I need to record, I have to call them and say, hey, I need this recorded. So they have to go into SQL and they have to make it. I watch them make it, but they do it so quickly, I don't know what they're doing. I'm not a SQL person, sorry.
If you don't know, don't
What
say.
do you want to see? What system do you want? El Dorado has half the price. They'll give us a tablet. The person reading the meters will take the numbers right there and write them down on
You
the
know,
tablet.
I can't hear you very well, I always appreciate you emailing me.
And then with that would eliminate the process of him writing it on paper, bringing it back to the office, me plugging it in, me trying to figure out if the numbers are correct. Because enhanced, you have green, blue, and yellow, and red. It means normal, it means too high, it means too low, it means no read. So, and there's 8 different meters, and they all read differently. So that's my predicament. With Mark out there, Mark sees the meter, he can see what they are, he can see the meter, he knows how to put the numbers in. I can't see it unless I go to another screen, and I only have one monitor. So it's a little bit of a handicap there with my arm behind my back, trying to figure out what that meter is supposed to have in it for numbers, because sometimes it takes 2, sometimes it takes 3, sometimes it takes 4, sometimes it takes 8 numbers. So depending upon that is how those numbers go in. And then once I do one look, then I can stop and then get out and then fix things. But if I don't, I have to start back over at 1 and fix the one that's bad. So it's really a process inside of Enhance, and it's very time consuming, it's inefficient, and it's not your best bet.
Have you considered your option? Have you
One at a time, please.
Going down to the thrift store to get another monitor for $10? I mean,
I have bought another monitor. I actually bought one for the town meeting, and it didn't work out so well. It's really big. I need a smaller one. And I could do that, I just don't have any space. I mean, you saw the desks, they're kind of skinny.
Right.
I could bring in another desk. I just, honestly, Debbie, I've been busy with billing. I'm not lying. I've been busy with billing, I've been busy with figuring out where the problems are in the billing so I can help the customers, because you guys deserve that when it's over and it's not supposed to be, or if I need to run an average because whatever's going on, I do a whole year of averages to find out what to charge you so that you're not getting this huge ass bill.
Did they pay for your training too, like the others are coming?
There is no training for Enhance. They have a manual that's really, really old.
How many software we paid since Elaine got in there?
None.
None? Oh, of course. Check the bills in there, how many software we paid.
So we're off topic on this, we need to get back to, it's part of the topic. Absolutely. About what is the topic? Excuse me, we need to stay on the budget topic, and people keep wanting to stray from that, and we're not going to do it. It needs to be about the budget. So do we have any budget-related questions or comments? Not you.
You're wrong again. You cannot do that, man.
I can do that. I can't.
Can you refuse?
I can refuse to give floor to.
No, you cannot.
Why? We have the attorney here.
There's no other questions though.
There's no other questions. I want to hear what he has to say.
Madam Chair?
Yes. No, we're going to move on. One more question from
High school, but you don't listen to her.
No. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to know.
We need safe drinking water. We want water pressure that works so we can do things like shower and run dishwashers and run hand sinks and all of that. But nobody in this town is right now is confident that even if what you're saying, with what your office is stating is the needed increase, nobody is confident in that based on the information that we have got. So is it the board's intention to vote on the $20 increase or $22 increase, or is it the board's intention to go with the recommended?
I can't speak to the board's intention. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how they're going to vote.
So how are you going to vote?
One person at a time. We're not. And I think the very hard thing, and this is huge, it's the board's responsibility is to look out for the best interest of the district. And we consider everything that people say. However, ultimately, when we go along and take a vote, people are going to have to decide. My job, my responsibility is to protect the district and to make sure that it has what it needs to grow and for the repairs, et cetera, to be done. And your thoughts absolutely are important, but our ultimate responsibility is to the overall health of the district. That has to be our main concern. Can this district survive and have the repairs and the things done that we absolutely have to have done, and in what rate is best going to allow us to accomplish that? So with that being said, it's time. We need to
request to be recognized.
So we are going to, tonight, I'm not giving you the floor. So,
okay, well, I don't want to
come to a close of the public hearing.
Okay, so Elaine.
You do not have the floor.
I think.
You do not
Transparency.
I'm giving her my 3 minutes.
Yes.
We don't want her to speak.
You do not have the floor. So we are
You are yielding the floor to me.
Yes, I am not.
You are yielding the floor to me.
No, I am not.
You are not, but the people are yielding the floor.
I am, as board chair, I am not.
Point of order.
No.
The point of order is we're trying to get close the
No, I understand. I would like to have clarity to the board's decision.
No.
For this group.
We are You have spoken for a very long time. You have exceeded 3 minutes time and again.
So have you.
We all
She is our
share
voice.
minutes.
3 minutes per
No,
topic.
Everybody's giving her the.
3 minutes per topic.
Would you guys consider just leaving the budget as it is? I think somebody recommended that.
We are going to, we're going to
So
go ahead
the
and
board
move forward.
can make a decision.
We are closing the
The
public
decision
hearing.
can be no decision on the budget.
Yeah.
Reflecting the need to gather more information.
Yes.
And produce that to the users.
cannot-
Or can vote on a non-decision on the budget increase to collect more information. They can do that.
Laugh it up.
So the public meeting is now closed. We're not taking any more questions and no more comments. We have heard everything that you have all said. We appreciate it. We'll absolutely consider it. Sean, would you like to say something about what you've heard and what you're...
All of them said it.
The concerns are reasonable, so I mean.
But we also,
If you
again...
take in scope of, if you go back, we've given the information, or Natalie gave the information at one point or another. But I know that I don't have it, and I don't want to explain what she did. Like, that's not my job. I'm not a CPA, and I don't want to get caught up with misspeaking on something that.
But just don't decide on the budget till we have the answers to the
We are going
You're
to,
assuming-
the public part is
You're
closed.
assuming that, you're
Okay,
assuming that
thank you.
we're, hold on, you're assuming that we're gonna go with the largest amount. That's not what we're doing. We're literally gonna talk about it.
They can vote by themselves. What's the point? She doesn't answer. What are you gonna vote?
Do you know if I also get it off the budget? Yeah, time for it.
Okay,
But you can submit what you've got.
excuse me, this is, the public session is closed. Art, do you have any, I'm sorry, Vincent, do you have anything you would like to add?
I thought it was closed.
No, she,
Wait.
can we clarify something,
Why not? Go
please?
ahead.
This doesn't mean the public has to leave. We're
Okay,
just not
so
taking
we
more
can't-
comment.
We can't quite hear you due to this connection. Melina, would you like to say anything?
Okay. Irene will talk. Okay.
Okay, so, what's the next
I've been fine. I ran out of battery. We went 2 hours. And on live streaming, it keeps the battery. But we got it going. We're back to streaming again. Live streaming. We're gonna have most of it on the record.
We
and it's gonna
are
be all
not
over
going to
Facebook.
continue with this meeting until there's quiet in
Yeah,
here.
it'll be for all of us. It'll be there. Because she's not.
Well, then, if you go out of order, that means you can't take a vote, correct?
Sorry. I can't. We let her do. Sorry.
So,
My apologies.
you do not have the floor. So, give me your thoughts on what you've heard about the budget, and we're looking for feedback and input. So, you talk and I will relay it, and hopefully people can hear you from the phone, but if not, I'll speak to what you're saying.
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am.
Well, like I said, adventure. Obviously, you need the funding to maintain a operating safe system. And I am, yes, a fan of having a substantial reserve because stuff happens. Okay, and everything is getting more expensive, labor, materials, parts, etc. So having that cushion, which most people try to do in life, because of unexpected events, makes a lot of sense. And that's it. That's it.
Okay, Sean, do you have any feedback you're going to offer?
I just want to say something about Vincent because everyone's been asking him. He's lived in this town for 22 years, so people keep on painting him as like an outsider. He's been here for 22 years. Is he from New York originally? Absolutely. So what? Just so you know. That's all I want to say about that because I know me and him talked about it. On the budget piece of it, yeah, we definitely need to have improvements. Even people that don't want the improvements, we've all said the same thing.
The only thing that people want, and I'm just repeating exactly because it's, yeah, they want transparency, but they have to take this whole scope, go back, and if the questions weren't answered from what she had said from 5, 6 different times that she spoke about the budget, then yeah, and we've written down every question you guys asked. So we'll get together and amplify these answers to you and say, hey, this is exactly what we were talking about. Here's why it makes sense. Because like I said, I originally was like, I wanted kind of like a medium and do a step. And then the CPA sat me down so that I can't regurgitate exactly what she said to me. That's not the way I work, okay? I have a lot of stuff in my brain. So that's all I can say. I know that I took the information where I got it. I looked at it and said, actually, it does make sense. Because I feel bad. Trust me, some of my neighbors, they're struggling. I bring them water sometimes. One guy doesn't have water, one of my neighbors, so I have to bring him cases of water. So, I mean, yeah, we all have water, but not everybody in this town has water. Just so you guys know that. The situation's like that. So, yeah, I feel terrible. I don't want you guys paying money that, you know, and I'm honest, and my word means everything to me. Okay, so I know a lot of you in here, and I'm pretty upfront exactly how I'll say exactly to your face what I'm saying about you, right? And I'm telling you that we need this increase, and I know it has nothing to do with my personality or her personality. It has to deal with, we need this to keep running, okay? And people always say, well, you know, we get sucked up by another district. Guess what? If that happens, well, then it's out of our hands, okay? If you want that to happen, that's a whole other subject. We can't talk about now, but I just spit it out there, okay? But what we have to do right now, because it has to be by the 10th, we have to have this thing submitted. You know, I like all these people coming in. I wish this was like this all year round. This is engagement. If those questions were asked 4 months ago when we started this thing, then we would have had the answers the next time. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that you feel like we're not giving you the answers tonight, and I feel terrible about that. I wish the CPA was here. You know, that's unfortunate. But I don't want to think it's not transparency because the CPA didn't show up, and that I feel terrible and I can't answer those questions. You know, that's me. You know, I just retired from the military. I don't need to give my background much. I just retired. I came out here. I've lived here for almost 3 years now, and I'm trying to give back to you guys. And it's like, you know, people start shooting things at me like we're not being transparent. I'm like, this is crazy. I understand the feelings here, but that's not what we're all doing as a board, okay? And I just want you to know that I'm not going to do that in alienated and representing it like crazy. If something was like, oh, this is outrageous, I wouldn't even say yes to something. Okay, that's just for me. That's all I have.
Melina, would you like to make comments about the budget?
Please.
Your turn now? Thank you. I do have some things to say about the budget. Unfortunately, Irene left and she had the paper because I didn't bring my paper because that was in the folder that wasn't marked for the budget.
I have everything she had, in case you need it. May?
Yes.
The proposed budget. All of it in here. Here's the proposed budget if you need it.
Oh, this. See, okay, so first of all, I got a copy of the budget 5 times. All different. No distinguishing marks. Budget A, budget B, budget. Just, here's 5, you figure it out. But anyways, as far as this thing goes, there, for the security deposits are supposed to be put into the security fund. And I've been on this board for 18 months, and there have been no, I know people have moved into this town, but there's been no deposits made to the security fund. I know we get capital improvement, and that should be going in there. And I know, you know, it's really wonky because the money goes into the BMO account, so that's one account. And then it goes to the county, so that's 2 accounts. And then it goes to the accountant, so that's 3 accounts. This is the only statement that I get on a regular basis. And I get it at the end of the month for the preceding month, right? So I don't have a lot of time to look at this before the meeting because I only get it a day before the meeting. You know, she has kept my hands tied. She doesn't let me do the duties that she assigned to me because she said, you'll be the treasurer. Okay, you know, I was trying to be helpful. I'm here for you guys, okay? She's tied my hand. I have right here a letter that I wrote to that gentleman over there. I thought it would be confidential. I was wrong. He sent my letter to the other board members. It was never brought up. I wrote my letter in October of 25. It's never been brought up. None of my concerns, none of my issues. He wrote me back, didn't even bother to spell my name correctly, and really just blew me off. And then she reprimanded me for it, for writing the letter to the lawyer. Okay, that was the only time I ever wrote the letter to the lawyer. All right? And she said, you're not allowed to do that. You have to ask me first. And that's the way she's been for 18 months. Go ahead and laugh.
Yeah, it's fun.
You laugh.
It's funny.
Keep it cool. Don't worry about her.
I'm sorry, but I just hear spirit. It's spirit.
That it was not confidential.
Oh, the letter. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. She tells me that, you know, I asked her for how to access the bank accounts. How do I get this information? Just let Natalie do it. Let Natalie do it. And I never got the access to the account. So there's a BMO account and a county account. And this account, I don't get all the receipts. I get receipts from Walmart that are, you know, dollars and dollars. I mean, I did cheap math. Her spending is out of control. Yes, we voted to give her $1,000 a month. I was under the impression that that was for things that come up, you know, things we need. But she's spending it willy-nilly on, lunch and supplies. One month she bought $1,200 worth of supplies. You know, and she spent $180 for lunch on your dime. After we called her out on it. After I called her out on it. And there was that one meeting a long time ago when she finally let me read the report, and then I read the report, and then I said, oh, look what I found. And then she never lets me read the report anymore. So I don't know what to do for you people. I'm here, I'm standing. She run off Tom, she run off Irene, she run off Lisa, she run off all these people. She's toxic. Now, she needs help. She needs prayer. She's a child of God, just like the rest of us, right? So we shouldn't blame her. We should blame whatever's in her and pray that it comes out. And I think the Holy Spirit's coming right now. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. My thoughts on the budget are, I have been out in the districts. I have been to every well site. I have looked at every report. I have talked to contractors. I have seen exactly what the district looks like. The lack of repairs, where it's falling apart, where it is so in such dilapidated condition that it it is concerning. It is very concerning when I look at the condition of the district. And I think that if we don't take steps very soon to hit it hard and to start making just basic repairs that haven't been made in years and to keep things going, the district is going to be the issues are going to just get much bigger, and we won't have any way of paying for it. And I've lived here for 31 years, and you guys can think of me what you want. I don't care. I know I made a commitment when I came onto the board that I was going to fulfill the commitment and complete the task at hand, which is to uncover all of the issues in the district, the things that needed to be repaired, the things that were in disrepair, the things that needed to be repaired first, what is the most critical, how do we get the money, and how much is all of this going to cost. And regardless of what you guys say, regardless of what you call a petition, regardless of whatever it is that you're doing, I'm going to maintain and continue working for the end goal that this entire board has and that I know the majority of the owner users have. I believe the majority of the owner users want to see the changes made in the district that need to be changed and that have been a long time in coming. And I'm not going to quit until we get to that point. So, it's time to vote. Is that what we want to?
What's on the agenda? They wouldn't dare.
So possible approval. This is item 5, discussion and possible action. Possible approval of resolution number 2026-02, adoption of the fiscal year 2027 budget and rate and fee schedule. So I want to make this clear on the rate and fee schedule. What does that include when it says that this is what we're going to vote on?
You have to indicate which version it is.
What?
Which version it is.
Okay. So
Same with the budget.
when
Which
we're
version?
looking at
Which
rate and fee schedule, I think about this as well. This is a rate and fee schedule.
It's an ordinance.
Okay,
Is
so
that the
this is
modified
not, okay. So the stuff on this ordinance, the items on this ordinance will be addressed at a later time.
You publish a new fee schedule for consideration.
Correct.
That is the fee schedule that's at consideration this evening. I haven't seen it here, but if you're going to move that be adopted as part of the resolution, you need to figure out how to reference it. Is there a date on it? Is it a date that got
No,
published?
so the ordinance on the changes that we need to make here, that will have to come at a separate meeting. We were going to do this on June 30th, but that meeting did not take place. So at this moment, all we're going to vote on is the rate increase, either the high or the low for both base rate and capital improvement. Is that correct?
You're going to vote on the budget tonight,
Okay.
not a high or a low.
Right, yeah.
It's the same budget that you submitted, posted and published.
Okay.
Now, you need to make reference to that. As an example, the budget I saw is dated 6/2/26. And so if you're moving to adopt that particular budget, you need to reference it by date.
Right here. Wait. Okay, this is, okay.
So there's a resolution that references it.
So the resolution,
This one says, fiscal year ending in 6/20.
Right.
Yeah, so that's 06, that's June 2027.
It's dated 6/2/27.
6/2.
Yes.
okay, so repeat that again. We are going to,
Say 6/2/27.
Jill, she wants to know where it says 6/2/27.
It's 6/20/27.
At the very top, 6/20.
They all say 6/27. All of them. By
So when you approve the resolution, you need to make reference to the version of the budget that you're proposing.
Yes, and it would be this one.
Is it?
This one right there.
And have you referenced?
Okay, yes. Which one? I thought it was this one. Yes, it is.
And how do you reference it? The date of the publication or the date of the budget? You need to make reference to it so the record reflects
So,
what you're talking about.
She said they all say fiscal year ending 6.
But the one that was, this one, it was published.
Okay, so it would be the one that was published June 2nd, the proposed budgets, BCCWID, 6/2/26 PDF. That would be the.
So is this available to everybody here right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on your phone, that's what it is.
But I came to this meeting prepared with like 4 documents, and I don't have that document.
It is on the website, it was published.
It's been published for a number of weeks.
It's a transparency thing.
Again, it is on the website under financial reports and audits, down on the proposed FYE 2027 budget.
So, is that the only place that it was published though? Because a lot of people don't have it.
So, once again, possible resolution number 2026-02, adoption of fiscal year 2027 budget and rate and fee schedule. And I can point me to the reference, sorry, I got the wrong one. I got it there.
Reports.
Bill, I need something specific. This is the correct one, and we have the correct one here on the website.
And reference it to the date.
Yeah.
So 6/20/27.
June 2nd,
Okay.
2026, the proposed budget. It was published online.
Correct. So, possible approval of resolution number 2026-02, adoption of fiscal year 2027 budget and rate and fee schedule. And it is the budget posted at BCCWID.com, June 26th and June 2nd, 2026, proposed budget. And that is the budget I am proposing that we.
Are you adopting the rate fee schedule tonight? Because you just referenced it.
Okay, would you like to help with that?
I have seen. If you're going to adopt, if you're going to include, you need to make reference to the rate and fee schedule.
The fee schedule means.
Your rate and fee schedule, which
You
you
don't have to hold my
modify.
picture. Okay, I need to be.
You apparently modified the ordinance, the 98 ordinance, and you published the rate and fee schedule. You need to reference that rate and fee schedule that you published.
Where's the rate? It's right here.
That's the budget.
I did not publish a rate and fee schedule.
You cannot vote.
I told you, because we had to cancel the meeting on June 30th, and that we knew aware of this. We have to postpone this ordinance.
You're not going to include the fee schedule, and you need to exclude it from your motion.
Okay, that's what it is.
The budget is based on the rate and fee schedule.
Yes, it is. You'll have to address it before the 10th.
So what do we vote on right now?
Nothing.
Pretty much nothing.
You mentioned adoption of the resolution because it approves both. Now you want to exclude the rate and fee schedule. You can do so, but you need to modify the resolution to do so.
Okay, so we're going to modify the resolution. Number 2026-02. We're going to modify it to exclude the ordinance.
The rate and fee schedule.
No, rate and fee schedule.
Can we explain what that means to the users?
And what else?
That's it. Your motion was to approve the resolution, but included both the budget and rate and fee schedule. Now you want to modify that to exclude the rate and fee schedule. You may do so if you wish.
Okay, and that's what we are going to do. So right now, we're just going to vote on.
You need a motion and a second on the approval of the resolution As modified.
So that's what we're going to do. Vote on the resolution approved as modified. And I want to make that clear whether.
Can we make it clear so the users understand? Because I don't understand.
I'll explain this because your words are really confusing.
You've asked for a motion to approve.
You're asking for approval of resolution. Dated 6/2/2027.
And that would be this. That would be this.
It was published on the website, excluding the rate and fee.
Excluding the rate.
What? Yes, it was.
You just told me it wasn't.
It was. I don't know.
You just told me. That's the budget. He knows.
Point of order. Point of order. What? The schedule?
She said she posted it at the water board, and then on the window where you go, there is it. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, we're going to, I'm going to accept a motion to break into an executive session.
Yeah, that was good.
For legal advice.
See the agenda, please.
Who's taking the minutes of this meeting? That's what I'd like to know.
John's got one.
Okay.
Now, who's the secretary?
Recording secretary.
Recording secretary.
This has nothing to do with him.
I'd like to entertain a motion to break into executive session.
Point of order.
I will second the motion. All in favor?
Can't second the motion. You cannot. So let's use the rule.
Point of order. Cannot make a motion and second a motion on your own.
No, you can't.
And is there a quorum?
He made the motion.
No, you made it. You cannot.
He entertained the motion.
I'd like to entertain a motion to move into an executive session.
So you're gonna do it behind closed doors?
Made the motion. I second the motion. All in favor? Vincent
Yeah,
is
we're gonna
making
go out
a
in the heat.
motion to go into an executive session for legal advice.
You got money for attorney fees?
Yes,
Or let the board go on record. Is
Yes.
there a quorum present?
Okay, all in favor, say aye. There were 3 ayes. Melina?
No way.
Okay, so it is approved 3-1. We'll move into the office for the executive session.
Can we ask how long this is gonna take?
Oh, okay, we get to stay here at least.
So we could be here until midnight then, right? Madam Chairman?
She was here all weekend.
How long is it?
I mean, she doesn't know which resolution to take. She's gotta go get the website rebuilt. Post it.
They're gonna do whatever they want. We gotta get it up there.
And admitted it already.
Now we're supposed to go to an executive session. Hey, Tom, you might need that. Everybody's talking when they're voting.
Hang out for part 3. And starting on part 2 now.
Includes all of the new rate increases that they already plan on doing, whether we came and said anything about it. They're just behind closed doors. So, which is definitely illegal. Yes, it is.
No, sir, you're fine. You're fine. No. 27 years required. No, you're right there. I appreciate you saying somebody else.
Okay, we're gonna shut down the live stream until the board returns. So I don't know how many people are gonna stay, but I'll try to carry on the stream when they get back.
And then I went to the town board that I'm there. The last day was
So Bud Farmer was the dad, he ran, the boys ran to the polls. Alicia worked Diamond, when they look out, she's on.
Oh, okay.
She's on the That was my grandfather's name.
I certainly know the name, yeah.
It's especially like up in the Payson area there.
When I was on the Tahoe meetings, that was point. But yeah.
And it's still kind of.
Alicia was one of the.
Okay, right? Okay.
She was on the jump, kind of short, really.
Short, yeah.
Okay, everybody.
We are. She got
Okay, so we are reconvening the public session. And,
So I'm gonna do the possible approval of.
No, just approve.
Approve resolution 2026-02, adopting a fiscal year 2027 budget. It's going to be excluding the 2026 June 2 proposal.
No, excluding the rate and fee
sorry.
schedule.
You want to say it?
You need to include the date and the amount of the
Right,
budget
yeah.
you're adopting.
Right.
Sorry. Okay, maybe it's time.
So you're going to be.
Where's that? Oh, there it is right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to reference this to there.
Right, so approve this budget.
The budget, but excluding the rate and fee schedule.
This is identified.
it was posted on the website.
Yeah, it was posted that one, but the rate and fee schedule was not, so we're doing that.
We're excluding it. We're excluding it.
Oh, we're excluding it.
Right. So that's the proposal. So approve the budget excluding the rate and fee schedule.
All right, that's
This is the rate and fee schedule that's being excluded. The budget would be, this. So rate and fee schedule, budget.
I'm gonna
This
reference the proposed budget though. So it's gonna be the one that has a proposed budget of $832,429. And it was also posted on June 2nd. So those are two different ways you can reference that one and verify it's the one you're looking at.
Is that the one in the window over there? Can't hear you.
Yes, it should be the one, but make sure it has the proposed amount as the total revenue as $832,429. And then it was posted on June 2nd. So if it has those two, that's the one. I just want to verify because there's a couple different variations of it. I want to make sure we're all looking at the same.
Can I, as a point of clarification, so if we're excluding the rate and fee schedule, does that mean we're approving a budget without a rate increase?
No.
So I think
No,
that
would
needs to
you
be
like to explain
clarified.
that? They're two different things.
No, I don't want to give legal advice to the public.
Okay.
I'll give it to you and take it.
So this is the rate and fee schedule. This is the budget that includes the rate and fee schedule. So if we want to go and change the residential rental services fees or commercial services fees,
We have to publish.
correct, and then we have to publish it. So what we're doing today would be approving the proposed budget, which does include the
Proposed increase, but
The
it's
increase.
not doing the rates. It's not doing the rates until we do that on Thursday, because we have to have that published tomorrow and have it up.
But I
There's gonna be a meeting on Thursday.
Here. We have to, Barbara, this is correct, we have to go back and talk about the rates and fees.
You have to publish it.
We have to publish it, so, exactly, and then we would have to request to change the budget.
No, budget includes it.
The budget includes it, so,
But if you don't include the rate and fee schedule, the budget is, we wouldn't have the money coming in.
correct. So
It's only a budget.
we're going to approve the budget, the proposed budget.
How can you approve a proposed budget that includes a rate and fees increase without having an agreed upon rates and fees increase?
You can have a budget, and that doesn't mean that if without
It's
rate
just not
and fee increase, that we'd actually get the revenue.
Okay, so you're proposing a budget that you possibly can't finance?
No.
And the county proposed a tax to cover the money.
Okay.
So then the county would propose a tax to the city of Black Canyon City?
No, the water district.
Or to the water district? Which is us? So then the county or, so in other words, yes, we would get hit for the differential in a budget that you're proposing that you're not sure if you can finance? But that's exactly what you just said.
Well,
She's not
we need this to be posted correctly. We need to adjust this with the stuff we were supposed to be proposing on the 30th. When was that one that we didn't have a quorum for?
Is that the document that you guys refer to as the ordinances?
Yeah, it's a rate, it's the rate. Rate increase.
Okay.
Rate fees. So we're gonna be doing this on Thursday. We have to get this tomorrow, it has to be up, so give us some time.
Okay, so there's gonna be another board meeting on Thursday.
So, in the meantime, we are going to vote on the proposed budget.
I have a question.
Excluding the rate increase, so this would include the price increase, right? So this would include the price increase?
It's based on the price. It's based on it. All we're saying is we're budgeting for it, and then we're gonna approve, we're gonna go ahead and go over this and verify that on Thursday. We can go Thursday.
You could recess this meeting to Thursday as well, and do it at the same time if you want.
I think that's better.
But I have a question to the board, if I may. The rate increases, two different rate increases, correct? Yeah, the rate.
The rate is more than two, it's a whole.
There's several. So what are we talking about?
So, I think we should.
There's a difference between commercials and residential.
We're not talking about that $11 or $21.
How much is the commercial?
That was my point.
Melina, can you explain anything? Do you understand? Do you understand?
I'm gonna recess.
Have a motion to
No,
I want a motion to recess both of them until Thursday. So we're gonna have all that information and we get it approved at the same time.
Okay, we don't hear.
Order. Can we hear this, please?
You need to pick a date and time and a location for that recess, if you're gonna do it.
Okay, so, today is the 7th and it's Tuesday. It would have to be. Vincent, are you available Thursday at 3 p.m.? Okay, so,
What about the 6 o'clock that was proposed?
It's a Thursday morning or Friday evening, but
well, we would have to we'd have to get this posted really early in the morning, and that's not gonna happen. So it would have to happen Thursday afternoon to get us time to post the frequency schedule. So are you okay with like we say 4 o'clock? Okay, so Sean made a motion, that we are going to recess, and we will reconvene on Thursday. I'll say, no, Sean. I have to make sure the library is available unless, if it's not available, could we meet here, Laurie? Sure. Okay, so thank you. If the library is not available, that would be the first spot.
No, you have to pick your spot. Don't say we're there or here.
So we'll just do there at 3 o'clock on Thursday, July 9th.
And you can't do it at 6 p.m. when people could be here.
Yeah, but exactly. Back to work. It kind of seems like you're trying to.
Right, 3 o'clock works good for if you don't want people here.
Or if you don't have anything to do.
Thursday at 3 p.m. Here.
Where is here?
Here at the Plaza Suite 1, the same room that we're in right now.
9 to 5.
People, yeah.
So
the people without us, people, you wouldn't even be there.
It's not 24 hours.
Yeah. That would be more than 24 hours.
No,
That's, we have jobs to do.
So Sean made the motion, I seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Discussion?
Aye.
No. All in favor, say aye. 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 Oh, Melina? Pardon?
Yeah, no.
We can go home, I say aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you for the 6 o'clock hearing that you said you were gonna reference for all of us.
Yeah, thanks for your consideration for the community.
Never word, I don't know why you tried.
But 3 p.m. works good if you don't want anybody to show
If
up.
you don't want anybody to show up.
We're here for how many hours today?